It's such a great day. It's a great day for SkyCan. My name is Obo Joseph, president of SkyCan. SkyCan is the South Korea International Cooperation Association of Nigeria. Today we are having our second podcast session, and with me is Mrs. Zainab Ibrahim, the director of the ADR Center of the Federal High Court. We are so pleased to have you in today's session of the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you just share a little of your background so that we can get to meet you?
Well, Zainab Hassan Ibrahim, Esquire. I'm a lawyer. I was a magistrate when I went to South Korea. When KOICA sponsored me to South Korea we were 4 magistrates, 9 judges in 2016. I was a senior magistrate then. But now I'm with the Federal High Court of Nigeria. I'm the director, Alternative Dispute Resolution Center of the Federal High Court. I'm a mother of 5, happily married, and actively in dispute resolution.
Wow, that's really awesome. In fact, when you mentioned ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution, I know that there's been so much advancement in that area in Nigeria. And I would just also want to know from you your inspiration about the law, because I'm trying to create a foundation for further questions that I'll be asking you. When you think of the law, what is your concept of the law? Maybe from a Nigerian perspective, what should law really be doing for the people?
Bringing justice to the people.
Bringing justice.
Bringing justice to the common man. Yeah. Where you run into a hitch, when you run to the law, it should be able to take care of resolving whatever disputes you have. That's what I think it should be like.
Yes, ma'am. We've come a long way in our country, and I'm happy that you had the opportunity to visit South Korea to see how justice administration is in South Korea. I don't want to get my own personal views in, but we've had this saying in legal practice where it's said that justice delayed
is justice
denied. How would you respond to that, basically?
Wow. What I saw in South Korea in 2016 wowed me. We asked questions. It was purely, we went to see how their judiciary functions. And top-notch. We saw that Nigeria is way behind.
Wow.
Yeah. I noticed that we went from the registry, we went to their Supreme Court, to, I can't remember, equivalent to the high courts in Nigeria. I think those are the 2 courts they have there. So I noticed they took us from the registry, from the start of the registry, from where documents are filed and everything. And I didn't see anybody. And I noticed...
Like you didn't see any human...
No, I saw just few humans.
Yeah.
Filing is done virtually. People do not have to pack their documents and come to court to file. You sit in the comfort of your office, upload your documents, pay. The fees are there. And you file. They do virtual filing. Even sitting, they do virtual sitting.
Way back 2016.
They do virtual sitting. If the witness cannot be in court, it can be heard virtually. And not that they don't do physical. If physical is necessary, the person comes to court. And their interpretation system wowed me too. All you need to do is to wear an earphone, like what he's wearing.
Yeah.
And if you're speaking in English and the judges only understand Korean, is interpreted automatically. They hear it. You don't need somebody to come and waste time interpreting. There is interpretation in so many languages, French. So they have, as far back as 2016, they have gone that far. And here we are, still doing things manually. And I was like, we were all wowed. And our dream was that we should have something of such in Nigeria. We are getting there gradually. You know, we are a developing country. I won't call South Korea a developing country. Yeah. It's one of the developed countries in the world. But my husband would say, after they came out of the war, Nigeria was one of the countries that helped them, gave them money to start off. And they are far ahead of us now. I think we should wake up quickly.
Is there a way that we can consciously begin to have more like a 50-50, a 50% look away from litigation for things that can be dealt with within an ADR mechanism?
In the developed world, ADRs are used in resolving commercial disputes. You go to America, intellectual property is resolved entirely through ADR.
Wow.
In Nigeria, a lawyer will come and tell you that no. They refuse. They come to ADR with the mindset of litigation, not to settle. So they frustrate the whole process. They are really not embracing it, especially the younger generation lawyers.
That's surprising because...
Yes, because I expected much. When we talk, they get angry. They are not. You still find out that most commercial cases are in court. If most of the commercial cases are taken away from courts to the centers,
yeah,
it will do very well. Because it's the easiest way to resolve commercial disputes. Because sometimes the parties get to understand what the real problem is and they come together, drop their attempts of settlement, which is final because it's their own agreement. And the matter is resolved once and
for
all.
It's
and everybody
faster,
goes,
it's even cheaper.
It's cheaper. Everybody, and it's private.
Yeah.
Everybody, you go back to your business. I think to a very large extent, if ADR is embraced the way it should be in Nigeria, businesses will begin to thrive.
That means that...
Because there's no way you won't have disputes in commercial agreement, in commercial relationship. But if you begin to go to ADR to resolve these things, it will be easier.
Well, it's really good to hear this, because I believe strongly that if litigants had a better understanding of how ADR works, they would rather not want to go through the cumbersome process of maybe filing court documents.
Should I tell you a story?
Please do.
When I was a magistrate, because I've been an ADR person for a long time, I started right from law school and I kept paying to train myself. So it was something I love so much. I love where people have disputes, they resolve and become friends again.
Yeah.
ADR makes you friends again. While litigation is a win-lose thing, ADR is a win-win. So in cases before me that had to do with tenancy, or most commercial cases, some even from the police station, cases of debt that people take, people are so ignorant. take to the police station. Police will now bring it as cheating. And then by the time you look at the FIR, you discover it's purely a contractual matter. I used to sue motor, take it out to my civil cost list, and I mediate or negotiate between parties. And 90% of time, the one time they come to court is the last time they come, because the case will be done with.
Wow.
Or even if we take an adjournment, they're going to draw their terms of agreement and bring in for adoption, and a consent judgment will be given, which is final. You can't appeal a consent judgment. So, tenancy cases too, most landlords now were looking for ways to come to my court, even if it wasn't within jurisdiction.
Wow.
Because if they come, it's done and dusted that day.
Wow.
And the simple thing I ask, what do you really want? They always come that they want their premises back.
Yeah.
I say, is it that you want your premises back, or you want your arrears of rent? And they will tell you, if he pays the arrears, or if he pays what he's owing me, the relationship can continue. And 80% of time, the relationship continues. The remaining 20%, they agree on when the tenant will move out, and that he'll pay up what he's owing, and he'll move out in 3 months' time. And they continue to have a relationship. They don't become enemies. I did that, and a petition was written against me to my CJ by our own colleagues.
You are taking the cases away from litigation.
I had a wonderful CJ then.
Wow.
Who rose from magistracy. So one day he came and hid and saw what I was doing. So he came and said, Your worship, is that what you do? I said, yes, my lord. He said, I was a magistrate. This is the proper way to do cases. And this is the way I used to do my cases too. He said, because most of you have forgotten that the magistrate court is a court of summary jurisdiction. Most magistrate courts are becoming like high courts, They are courts of summary jurisdiction. So I had more consent judgments than actual trial judgments as a magistrate. But it made me happy because they all go. There's another story. I always remember that story. They brought trespass to land. When they bring trespass to land, they will say, lawyers will tell you that take it to the magistrate court. Meanwhile, it's always about ownership. And ownership is the high court. And it was 2 brothers, customary land, and they came. This one came with his children. This one came with his children. Iraq and American war. They were. I looked at them in the open court. I stood down their case and took it to chambers. It took me 4 hours, but they went back home as a family.
Wow.
I made them realize what they were fighting over. It's a land you've inherited. So what was it that all of you cannot live peacefully? You're going to outlive this. The land is going to outlive you. It's going to outlive your children's children. It's going to outlive. The land will be here, but we'll all be far gone. And we'll be gone as enemies. What for? Is it worth it? That was all. It gave me 2 days later, they brought their boot full of farm produce, and I refused to take. They said, no, I must. I don't know what I've done. I said, no. The government pays me for this.
Yeah.
But the payment you've given me more is that you are a family again.
Wow.
The unity of the family matters more to me. It gives me so much joy. And God has rewarded me for that.
Wow.
So that's the importance of ADR. But people are not embracing it. And nothing is pride. Is I must win syndrome. I must.
Yeah.
You understand?
Because really.
And the complaint of most lawyers is that how will ADR give them money?
Give them.
The truth is, it might be giving you small money, but you make small money
Volume.
faster. The
Yeah.
volume is much more than.
Yeah. I think lawyers need to, that reorientation
Yes.
needs to be out there, because from what you've described, it's going to be a whole lot easier, and the ability to do more, and not just to win in court, that you are now enemies for life, but to still bring about that unity, social
And we're going
cohesion.
to have a more peaceful society with ADR.
Because I was in court. I was in court. Was it 2 days back? I went to the magistrate court in Kubwa, Dutse Kubwa, and I went to see someone. I didn't have a matter. I didn't have any case or anything, but I just went to see somebody there. And I looked at when the guys from the correctional service came with some inmates, and I just overheard some of the conversations that they were having. Maybe somebody was alleged to have gone to somebody's house, and maybe he took some tiles, and the case now got to the police. He was charged to court, and that matter, it's been 3 years down the line.
At the magistrate court?
Yes, for
theft?
For a pack of, it's theft though, but for a pack of tiles.
Theft is theft. He moved it, isn't it?
He moved it.
So it's not the quantity of what he moved. The intention is what we look at. You're a lawyer now.
I am, but I'm
It's
just,
the mens
but
rea
I'm
and
just
the actus,
surprised.
the actus reus of the
But what's surprising
offender.
me really, because I don't necessarily know everything about the case, but I can still read some commercial elements into that whole scenario.
What was the intention? Was it his styles, or he moved somebody's styles?
He was alleged to have moved somebody's styles.
So that's theft now.
Yeah, he was alleged to have moved someone's styles, but to have to spend 3 years.
You see,
what
mostly the police do that is commercial. I borrow money from you.
Yeah.
I'm unable to pay. You now go and report to the police. Or simple contracts. I paid you money to supply me probably 20 bags of rice. You now supplied me 10. You've not supplied the rice. Then you brought another 5. It wasn't the rice I asked for.
Yeah.
That's a breach of contract.
Yes.
And I rejected it. No, you must give me the rice I want. People go to police station for that.
Wow.
The police do not have powers to
over such matters.
But they take them. And the next thing you will hear cheating, breach of trust or something. But these are simple contract cases.
Yeah.
So there are instances like that.
Yeah. So I want to take you back to Korea. I want to know, was there a specific moment that really caused like a mindset shift for you?
We didn't just do judiciary. They took us to Samsung Innovation Center.
Samsung Innovation Center?
Yes. They took us to their Samsung Innovation. As far back as 2016, I saw what wowed me, technology.
Wow.
We got there. These people are something else. Where somebody can stay in the office, check his groceries, what he doesn't have in the fridge, what he has, and order. And
2016.
And it will be delivered, and Samsung fridge. And then he could stay in his office. He thinks it's too cold. He'll put on his heater from the office before getting home so that the home will be warm enough for him. Or it's too hot, put on the AC to keep his... he operates from the office, put off his light. He had the vacuum cleaner. He could stay in his office or car and use his phone and instruct the vacuum cleaner to clean a certain... In 2016, that wasn't the only one. They took us to their power sector.
Yeah.
These people do not have the amount of sun we have. And they are still capturing solar. They have a solar bank under the ocean.
A solar bank under the ocean.
Where they are storing solar. So that if anything happens, they have a backup for power.
Wow.
I say now, wow.
Wow. This is really amazing.
It's 2016. I'm talking of 9 years ago. In September, it will be August.
Yeah.
August, it will be 9 years. I went there. So you can imagine where they should be 9 years
Right,
after. I want
yeah.
to go back and see where they have gotten to.
Wow. Wow.
You go to their toilets. You were there now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. You don't need to use your hands to wash yourself.
Yeah.
If the toilet seat is too cold, you know where to press,
Yeah.
and it will warm up for you to sit. You want hot water, you know where to press. It will
Yeah.
come and clean you up. You don't need to use your hands at all. They are something else. They've gone really, really. When they said they are pali, they are always in a hurry to do things. I knew that we should wake up. And another thing that amazed me with them is they keep to time.
Yeah.
They taught us, we embraced it. We kept to time.
Yeah,
we behaved ourselves.
If you didn't even keep to time, if you would feel strange.
You look like an irresponsible person there if you don't keep to time.
Yeah, I want to find out, like, are there certain value systems that we can borrow from the Koreans to make our country better? Because if we talk about Nigeria supporting Korea at those early stages, and right now it almost appears that we are in that space where we are looking for support left, right.
80, 81, yeah. Well, I think it's their attitude, their upbringing. I'm talking to but before going on, their crime rate is very low. That's what I notice again. It's almost a crime-free society.
And you don't even see guns. You don't see people. You don't see guns in the streets. Like, I don't know how that happens. Even at the airport, because I was in Korea last year. Nobody to get into Korea. Nobody had to talk to me. I just stood in a place, dropped my passport somewhere, scanned it through, a door opened, maybe some device took my eye capture. The next thing, the doors to Korea was flung open. And I was like,
we just have to embrace technology with all our hearts. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a society, the government has really, really done well. It's a society where if you mismanage anything, you're going to prison. There's no doubt. So I think their value system is really, really, yes. And I see it from their homes. They tell you breakfast is for 6. You're not there, you don't have food. They'll eat and leave you. You stay hungry. Lunch is for 12, is 12.
Yeah.
Dinner is this time, is this time. This is how you do things, this is how you do things. If you don't do it the way it should be done, there are consequences.
Yeah. Wow.
For everything. Then there's a reward system that encourages you to do better. And then they pay well. They do well. The corruption is almost zero.
Can we begin to envision a system, or let me even ask the question this way. What would it take the Nigerian judiciary, for example, to fully embrace the use of technology, not just at higher courts, but even at
the lowest court in the land? Everybody wants to embrace it. We don't have the wherewithal. What we mean by wherewithal, the money is not there. They are not funded to do it. You need a lot of funds to do that.
yes.
You need funds for training of judges, magistrates, area court judges, customary court judges, registrars, court clerks. We don't need interpreters because with technology, you don't need anybody to come and interpret in court. You need to put in a lot of money.
What do you see? What are the possibilities that are on your mind about where the Nigerian judiciary is headed? And are there additional lessons that we can learn from what Korea has been able to do?
Even though we are going at thought it's a very slow rate, but I think we're better off than 9 years ago when I went to South Korea. 9 years ago, we didn't know of virtual sitting.
Yeah.
COVID-19 made us embrace it. Now, judges will not tell you, because I had to go for a program, I could not sit. They still do their virtual sittings. They don't take adjournment unnecessarily. So, gradually, like I told you, it's funding.
Yeah.
I'm sure where there's money,
things will definitely
move.
Things will move. Things will definitely
Funding
move.
is the biggest problem.
Things will definitely move.
Abi is our biggest problem because I'm part of that. Funding is the biggest problem we have in the judiciary.
America does its bit in terms of training, some level of maybe technical support, and I know that I don't know if there is a way the judiciary can key into the e-government process that Korea has been funding for many years now. There might be opportunities within that window.
Okay.
So if
as
there's
the
a
president
way,
looking for us.
As the president of SkyCan,
yes, of SkyCan.
Yeah, there might be opportunities within that window, because I know that Korea is spending millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars on the e-government project in Nigeria. So if there are components of that project that the judiciary can plug into
for training, yes.
So
we'll be glad if they can do that.
It would be nice to explore those alternatives to see what could come out of that interaction. The last thing I would like to ask you has to do with the Korean culture, Korean food, Korean films. Like, have you interacted with that side of Korea?
Yeah, my kids are all K-drama.
Wow.
They have left our Nollywood. They are more into K-drama. And they like Korean food. But me, I'm a Nigerian. I like my Nigerian food, Jerry.
In fact, I had the opportunity to sit down with.
I'm not. What's that one they used to give us? That they are spicy.
Is it kimchi?
Kimchi. I wasn't really carried away, but I'm surprised that those ones that have not gone to South Korea like kimchi. In fact, my fourth child wanted to go and read medicine in South Korea.
Wow.
He insisted. My daughter, the one in UK, the one graduating this year, still looks forward to going to South Korea.
Wow.
They all want, all of them are in love with Asia, South Korea in particular.
Yeah.
So South Korea, what's the name of this country? Singapore.
Yeah.
So I see them talking of Japan, Singapore, South Korea. But for the films, they like K-drama the most.
Yeah.
They love K-drama the most. Wow. I keep promising them that I'll take them to the Korean
Cultural Center.
I've not been able to.
I know they do some movie.
I went there once. Yes. They watch on Netflix now. You see them watching
K-drama.
Wow. So they'll come and say, "Mommy, have you watched this? Have you watched that?" But I try to be the Nigerian that I am.
Yeah, of course. But it's beautiful to see how that cultures are interrelating.
Yes.
They are no.
But I love their conservative culture. They are quite conservative people too.
Yeah. It has helped to preserve their culture.
Yes. And then it has
that social decorum.
Yes. They have been able to breach the line. They did not allow the Western culture to over-interfere with their culture. They've been able to maintain their culture, and it has helped them to be who they are today and the society they are in today. I think over-interference of the Western culture too has affected us badly.
A whole lot. A whole lot.
Yes.
I look forward to those days, to the future when
we'll go back to our cultures.
Can really get back to balance. because I don't really see us going back to our culture in that raw form.
But let's get
to have
back
a balance
to the rest of it.
yeah,
Yes.
to have a balance would really be nice. To have a balance where it is clear that, we can still retain what it means to be Nigerian.
Yes.
The last question that I have for you has to do with, because when I ran for president for SkyCan, one of the things that I shared basically had to do with Quaker has done, or Korea has done so much for us. What can we do for Korea? It was on that mantra, although it sounded political per se and all that, but I just also want
What
to...
can we actually do for Korea? It's Korea that will do for us, Jerry. They have more than enough to do for us. What we can do
Yeah.
is to learn a lot from
Yeah.
them and try to pick up some of the values or what has really made them go this far and bring it in and import it and ask them for help too. Because even when we're trying to, and then as they see us doing well, they'll be proud of us. They'll say, we mentored these people. You understand? We're looking for mentorship from them, and they should help us get there. I think that will be satisfactory for them. When we do well.
Maybe it's an over ask for me to say, okay, but there's still somewhere in my mind. I've not been able to answer that question myself, but there's still a place in my mind where I'm really thinking, like, what can we do to even say thank you to our Korean friends?
Is to continue to have and improve our relationship with them.
Yeah.
To a point where we'll just be the same. Yeah. We'll be brothers and sisters with them.
Yeah. Well, it's been a very lovely session with Mrs. Zainab Ibrahim. Thank you very much for taking the time. I know that your time is there's a lot of value and premium on your time, and for you to have given us this hour or more to have these conversations on the Coney Dialogue podcast, we really want to say a very big thank you to you. The country director is currently not I think he traveled. So maybe in future, if you'd have the time, you can also still just come in to say hello.
No problem.
To Quaker.
I will.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.